If you're eyeing the NuPhy Air 96 as your next wireless mechanical keyboard, you're not alone. It promises a sleek, ultra-slim design with multi-device compatibility and a beastly 1000 Hz polling rate. But here's what surprised me. This keyboard isn't quite the flawless gem it's marketed to be. In fact, some frustrating quirks might make you think twice before hitting that buy button. So if you want an honest, no-fluff review that cuts through the hype and tells you exactly what to expect, keep watching because I'm about to break down everything you need to know about the NuPhy Air 96 before you spend your $159.99. Trust me, it's not your typical glowing review. Now let's dive in. First, who is this keyboard for? If you're a gamer craving fast wireless response with a 1000 Hz polling rate, or a multitasker juggling Windows, Mac, Linux, and even consoles at once, this promises to be a dream. Plus, its ultra-slim 13.5 profile and premium aluminum alloy frame with PBT keycaps make it look like a luxury gadget that fits right into any modern setup. But just like a bad date, some things just don't click despite a great first impression. Here's an early insight you'll want to note. The keyboard boasts simultaneous connection to 4 devices and supports Bluetooth 5.1, 2.4 GHz wireless, and wired USB-C, which sounds ideal. However, the switching between these connections isn't as seamless as I hoped, causing little hiccups mid-use that might throw off both gamers and typists. Stick around because I'm going to reveal how these connection issues affected performance in real-world testing, and why that ultra-high polling rate didn't always deliver the buttery smoothness you expect. Plus, there's a catch with the keyboard's battery life you won't see coming. Let's talk design. The Air 96 V2 is ultra-thin, like the James Bond of keyboards, only 13.5 thick at its slimmest point. It features a sturdy aluminum frame paired with high-quality ABS plastic, topped with two-tone PBT keycaps that have a nice texture and resistance to shine over time. Long typing sessions feel comfortable without a wrist rest, promising ergonomic benefits similar to membrane keyboards, but with mechanical switches satisfying feedback. On paper, this is the kind of keyboard that elevates your desk's aesthetics, but in practice, I noticed the slim design made the keyboard feel slightly fragile compared to other full-metal boards. It's as if the Air 96 is trying to walk a tightrope between portability and durability, but sometimes leans a little too far towards delicate. Now, if you're thinking about customizing your layout, here's some good news and a heads up. The Air 96 supports QMK and VIA firmware, which allows full programmability of every key. Perfect if you like to tailor your keyboard to your workflow or gaming macros. However, setting this up requires a deep technical dive that might overwhelm beginners. Also, the software itself can feel clunky and a bit buggy, leading to frustration during remapping. There's a silver lining. Once configured, it does what it promises, but be prepared for some trial and error. What about performance? Using Nordic's NRF52810 SoC and STM32F072 MCU, the Air 96 boasts a 1000 Hz polling rate even in wireless mode, suggesting ultra-low latency suited for gamers. But in reality, wireless lag can be a mixed bag depending on environmental factors. For instance, Bluetooth connection introduces input lag that, while minimal, can be noticeable in competitive gaming scenarios. On 2.4 GHz wireless, performance is better but still not as snappy as a wired connection. So if you're a pro gamer who can't risk split-second delays, this keyboard's wireless modes might not meet your expectations. Speaking of wired, the USB-C connection is reliable, but I found the cable quality a bit disappointing for a $160 keyboard. Think more budget than premium. Battery life is another area where the Air 96 makes impressive promises, but delivers with some caveats. Packed with a 4000 mAh battery, it claims up to 120 hours of usage with the backlight on, and a whopping 220 hours without. Sounds fantastic, right? But here's the twist. In real-world usage, the RGB backlighting significantly drains the battery faster than advertised. If you're someone who loves vibrant lighting effects, expect to be tethered to your charger more often than you'd like. On the bright side, the LED power indicator on the side is a nice touch, so you always know when it's time to juice up, kind of like a friendly vampire warning you before it drains your keyboard's life. An important factor to mention is the keyboard's layout. At 96 keys, the Air 96 strikes a middle ground between full-size and compact. It includes a numpad, arrow keys, and dedicated function keys, but in a very condensed form. This 96% layout appeals to users who want more than a 75% layout, but don't have room for a bulky full-size board. However, some users find the key spacing cramped, particularly around the cluster of navigation and arrow keys. It's like sitting at a dinner party where someone's elbow keeps nudging you close, but not quite comfortable for everyone. Now, for a bit of fun, did you hear about the keyboard who went to therapy? It just couldn't escape its key issues. Okay, bad joke aside, this brings me to the biggest gripe: build consistency. Multiple buyers reported that their Air 96 units had uneven stabilizers, leading to rattly larger keys like the spacebar and right shift. This makes typing feel noisy and less satisfying than you'd expect from a keyboard in this price range. Switch options on the Air 96 are good, with hot-swappable mechanical switches letting you swap them without soldering, a true plus for enthusiasts who like to experiment with switch types. The keyboard supports common MX-style switches, but the spring tension on some included switches felt a little stiffer than ideal for extended typing comfort, though this varies by user preference. Also, the sound profile is somewhere between medium loud and clicky, which may not suit quiet office environments. If you're a developer, writer, or someone who types for hours, the keyboard's thin design and PBT caps are inviting. Just beware of the sometimes noisy stabilized keys and occasional connection glitches. They can interrupt your flow. Gamers will love the wireless tech and polling rate in theory, but the practical lag and battery drain can spoil long game sessions. And casual users who prioritize aesthetics might just appreciate its sleekness without diving too deep into technical frustrations. Wondering if the RGB lighting is worth soldering on your desk? The Air 96's backlighting is customizable through software and supports multiple effects and brightness levels. However, the implementation isn't flawless. The lighting seems uneven across some keys, and the software interface feels unintuitive, like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. If lighting is a showstopper for you, there are better options out there with more consistent and vibrant illumination. So, is the NuPhy Air 96 worth your money? Here's where I leave you with a twist. Despite its flaws, this keyboard hits many right notes for a specific niche. It nails portability and multi-device support better than most keyboards in its price category. The build quality is overall premium feel, minus the stabilizer noise and some delicate frame concerns. Its software programming, once mastered, is powerful for power users. And that battery, when used thoughtfully with lighting off, it can last days without needing a charge, a real convenience. Plus, I have to say, there's something charming about the Air 96's design language. It's like the Swiss Army knife of keyboards, compact yet packed full of features even if some tools aren't perfect. The aluminum frame gives it a minimalist but sturdy look that fits both office and gaming setups. If you're a keyboard hobbyist or love tinkering with layouts, this board gives you that playground. On the flip side, if you want hassle-free plug-and-play with lightning-fast wireless performance, there might be better choices that handle those areas with less compromise. By the way, ever wonder why computer keyboards never sleep? Because they hate to hit the pause button. Okay, I'll stick to keyboards and leave the jokes at that. But here's a final thought. The NuPhy Air 96 isn't for everyone, but for the tech enthusiasts who want an ultra-slim, programmable, multi-device wireless mechanical keyboard, and don't mind smoothing out a few rough edges. It might just be worth the investment. Before I wrap up, keep in mind that prices for the NuPhy Air96 flicker, especially on Amazon, so if you decide to take the plunge, check the link in the description for the best current deal. Prices can change fast, and you don't want to miss out on a bargain. In summary, the NuPhy Air96 offers elegant design, extensive connectivity options, and deep customization features that cater to the prosumer and enthusiast crowd. But it comes with software hiccups, some build inconsistencies, and real wireless limitations that turn casual buyers into keyboard skeptics. Ultimately, if you value aesthetics, versatility, and tinkering potential, and don't mind the occasional annoyance, the Air 96 is a solid pick. For those focused purely on flawless wireless gaming or noise-sensitive environments, look elsewhere. Still curious about this keyboard? Do you think the thin design and multi-device support outweigh the quirks? Drop a comment below and join the keyboard conversation. And don't forget, for the latest price and to grab yours while supplies last, click the Amazon link in the description. This keyboard might just become your next favorite if you're ready to embrace its unique personality. Happy typing!